Can I take a few more minutes? Okay. Brother Taha, where is he? He's not here. Okay, he's busy. He asked me, he said, Sheikh, you have that session at UIE on Monday. Can you share with us today some of what you're going to give to them on Monday on modern Western civilization? I will just introduce the subject now, and in the next session after lunch and Zuhar Salat, I will then expand on it for you, inshallah. The Prophet ﷺ was passing by, and he saw his companions sitting and talking amongst themselves. And he asked, what are you talking about? And they said, we're talking about Alamatu Sa'a, the signs of the last day. And he said the last day would not come until, and he mentioned 10 signs. And these have not been given in the order in which they will occur. What are they? Number 1, Dajjal. Number 2, Gog and Magog. Number 3, the return of Nabi Isa alayhi salam, the true Messiah. Number 4, Dukhan or smoke. Number 5, Dabbatul Ard. And I have a book on that subject. Number 6, that the sun would rise from the west. Number 7, 8, and 9. 3 earthquakes. The earth opens and swallows what it swallows. It's called a khas. 1 in the east, 1 in the west, and the 3rd one in Arabia. But I remember a few years ago, in Taman Sri, UK, it was Ramadan, and the earth opened and swallowed the whole house. You remember? You don't know about it. You know where Taman Sri, UK? Of Urdu Kalam? It was Ramadan, and the earth opened and swallowed the whole house. It was the time of Fajr, Suhur. And number 10, that the fire will come out of Yemen and drive people to their place of assembly for judgment. These are the 10 signs. The rabbis in Medina asked, they said, ask him these 3 questions which only a prophet can answer. Ask him about the great traveler who traveled to the 2 ends of the land. Ask him about the young men and the cave. And ask him about the Ruh. And Allah sent down the answers to the first 2 questions in Surah Al-Kahf. And the 3rd question, the answer came down in Surah Al-Isra. And it's not here. Surah Al-Kahf and the modern age is at the back there. That book deals with the 3 questions. So when Allah turned to the subject of the great traveler, he referred to him as Zulkarnain. And Karn can mean a horn, and Karn can also mean a generation, a people, an age, an epoch. So which one is it? Zulkarnain. The Quran has never used the word Karn to mean horn, never. The Quran always uses the word Karna to mean a people, a generation, an age, an epoch. And therefore Zulkarnain is an event which occurs twice. Zulkarnain is an event which will occur twice. Do I need to repeat that? Zulkarnain represents power. Allah bestowed power on Zulkarnain. But that power rests on the foundations of faith in Allah. And when power rests on the foundations of faith, how is power used? Zulkarnain travels in the direction of the setting of the sun, and he comes across a body of water which is dark and murky. It's the Black Sea. And there Allah asks him, how will you treat these people who are living by the Black Sea? He said, I'll use my power to punish the oppressor and to reward those who are faithful, who have faith and who are righteous in conduct. So when power rests on the foundations of faith, power is used to punish the oppressor, punish the wicked. And power is used to support and to reward those who have faith and who are righteous in conduct. Do I need to repeat that? And then Zulkarnain traveled in the direction of the rising of the sun, another body of water, and this is the Caspian Sea. And there he came across the people who lived the primitive way of life. And he did not put them into blue jeans. And they must all join the blue jeans Jamaat. He left them as they were. He showed respect for their indigenous way of life, even though it was primitive. He left them undisturbed. This is his compassion and his wisdom. Do I need to repeat that? And then he traveled in the third direction, and then that's where he came across Gog and Magog. And the Quran says about Gog and Magog that they are an evil people who corrupt and destroy everything. They corrupt and they destroy everything, but they have power. And the people asked Zulkarnain, can you build a barrier to protect us from them? The fact that Zulkarnain accepted to build a barrier indicates that they were too powerful for him to destroy them. And so he built the barrier with blocks of iron. And he coated it with copper. And you might want to do some research to find out that if you have iron coated with copper, would the electromagnetic wave be able to pass through it? Did you hear that? If you put an iron sheet and you cover it with copper, would electromagnetic waves be able to pass through it? Or would you be able to be safe from them? Anyhow, when he built the barrier, they could not penetrate, they could not scale it. And then he said, this is rahmah from Allah. But when the time comes of which Allah has warned, He's going to bring down this barrier. And Gog and Magog will be released. And when they're released into the world, it will be fasad. Corruption and destruction. The political system will be corrupted. The economy will be corrupted. The monetary system will be corrupted. Sports and entertainment will be corrupted. The media will be corrupted. The bedroom will be corrupted. Everything will be corrupted. We leave Surah Al-Kahf and we go now to Surah Al-Anbiya. And in Surah Al-Anbiya, Allah speaks about a town. And He does not identify the town. Nor does Nabi Muhammad identify the town. Why? Because this is mutashabiha. This is a test. He wants you to think. You got to think, which town is this? Allah destroyed the town and expelled the people of the town and placed a ban on them that they could never return to reclaim the town as their own. Never. Until Allah brings down the barrier and Gog and Magog are released. And when they are released, they spread out all over the world, including Malaya. And they take control of the world. And with their evil corruption and destruction, they bring a world of terror into being, controlling the world. When that happens, you will see these people being brought back to this town. So Gog and Magog will establish the world order of Gog and Magog. And that world order of Gog and Magog will bring these people back to this time. I wrote this book 20 years ago. Jerusalem in the Quran. We even translated it to Bahasa. And in this book we argue that the town is Jerusalem. And the people who were expelled were the Jews. And after 2,000 years, it is Gog and Magog who have brought the Jews back to Jerusalem to reclaim it as their own. And therefore modern Western civilization is the civilization of Gog and Magog. Having said that, the Quran speaks of Qarnayn, two currents. The first one occurred at that time, long ago in history, when the barrier was built. And then the barrier was broke down by Allah. You can go to Google Earth and you can search for the barrier. You will find it. It's gone. So when will the second current occur? There are two currents, okay? The second time around, Gog and Magog again going to be put away. The first time Gog and Magog were put away behind the barrier. They couldn't do any mischief. So there is an event which is coming in which history will repeat itself. And Gog and Magog, which is modern Western civilization, will again be put away and they can do no more mischief. When will that occur? When will the second of Qarnayn occur? Second current. Answer, you got to look to the Black Sea. And when you see power emerging in the region of the Black Sea, and I mean formidable power, and when you see that power resting on the foundations of faith, you will know that we are now in the second Qarn of Qarnayn. Good. Well then look at history. Who has had power in the Black Sea region? The answer is, for many centuries it was the Ottoman Empire. And then after that, it was the Soviet Union. But did the Ottoman Empire, were they successful in neutralizing Western civilization? No. Western civilization is more powerful today than it was before. Did the Soviet Union succeed in neutralizing Western civilization? No. The Soviet Union collapsed. The Ottoman Empire collapsed. So now, when will the second Qarn occur? And we say, when Russia recovered Crimea 5 years ago, I was in Gombak. I said, it's time for Imran to celebrate. When Russia recovered Crimea 5 years ago in 2014, and the Western world has been powerless to do anything about it. They can impose all the sanctions they want to impose, it does not change anything. Russia now commands the whole of the Black Sea. And the power that Russia has combined with China is such that the Western world cannot intervene in Venezuela. For 200 years they've been intervening all over South and Central America. Endless interventions to remove governments. And now Venezuela, and they cannot do it. Why? Because Russia is too powerful for them. And so here is the evidence that the second of the two Qarns is now taking place. But the schoolboy doesn't understand, so he criticized me. Oh, he's the only one in the whole world of Islam saying this about Gog and Magog and about Zulkarnain. So how could he be right and everybody else is wrong? That's the schoolboy. If I am correct, then the war which is going to take place soon is a war in which the Western world is going to be surprised. Yes. And there is a second Qarn coming. In the first Qarn, a wall was built and they were contained behind the wall. But there's a second Qarn coming and Russia is going to be victorious. Let me share something more with you and we will stop. There's a surah of the Quran which is named after the Christians. Which surah it is? Surah to Ruh. Ruh. And in this surah, Allah begins, as He began Surah Al-Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim. And then He goes on to say, غُلِبَتِ الرُّومُ. Rome has been defeated. Where was defeated? Was it in Chicago or was it in Calcutta? Huh? Rome has been defeated. فِي أَدْنَى الْأَرْضِ. Rome has been defeated in a land close by to Arabia. So we have to look to see who is Rome, somewhere close to Arabia, not in Chicago. وَهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ غَلَبِهِمْ سَيَغْلِبُونَ. But after this defeat, they would soon be victorious. The kuffar of Makkah were happy, they were celebrating when Rome was defeated, because it was the Persian Empire which defeated Rome. Rome was Constantinople. Where is it? Where is it? Here we are. This is one of my latest books, Constantinople in the Quran. They were celebrating because they identified with the Persian Empire. They were idol worshippers, and they considered us to be identified with Rome, because Rome believed in Moses and Abraham and the Torah and so on, and we did the same thing. So the kuffar in Makkah were very happy when the Persian Empire defeated Constantinople. Constantinople was Rome. So when the Quran said, وَهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ غَلَبِهِمْ سَيَغْلِبُونَ, but this defeat is going to be changed to victory soon. So they started taunting Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and he defends himself. You want to take a bet? Abu Bakr said, okay, I'm ready. So they made a bet. When the Prophet ﷺ heard about the bet, he said, Abu Bakr, change that bet. Because the Quran said that the victory would come fi bid'i sinin. And bid'i sinin could be 3 to 9 years. So change the bet. So Abu Bakr Siddiq changed the bet. And exactly as the Quran said, it happened, and he won the bet. He won the bet. So Rome was Constantinople. But Allah went on to say, not only that Rome would be victorious within a few years, but he went on to say that there will be 2 victories for Rome. Min qabl wa min ba'd. The first victory would be before, and if you are thinking, you will ask before what? But if you're only eating your nasi biryani and going home to sleep, you wouldn't ask any questions. Min qabl wa min ba'd. 2 victories, and the second one will be after. So if you are thinking, you will ask, after what? Before what? And after what? There will be 2 victories for Rome. And between these 2 victories, there will be a defining moment in the history of Rome. And it is in the context of that defining moment that the first victory will be before it, and the second victory will be after it. What is that defining moment in the history of Rome? Rome is Constantinople. Answer, this book answered it. Constantinople in the Quran. That there was a split, and one part of Constantinople broke away and went to Italy and founded Western Christianity. And the other part remained in Constantinople. That is the defining moment which took place in 1054. This part avoided the big shirk, and that part embraced the big shirk. What was the big shirk? Constantinople believed that there was God the Father, and God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. Yeah. But Constantinople believed that the Holy Ghost, we call him Al-Ruhul Qudus, Jibreel alayhi salam. Constantinople believed that God, the Holy Ghost, came from the Father. The Holy Ghost came from the Father. But when they broke away, Western Christianity, they broke away because they said, no, the Holy Ghost came from the Father and the Son. So what the West did was to make the Son equal with the Father. That is the Sheikh. This side still believed that the Father is the supreme God, and the Son is not equal to the Father. Like the Hindus. The Hindus believe in one supreme God, but they believe in other gods and goddesses. Okay, but these are not equal to the one supreme God. That's a Hindu belief. And the Orthodox Christian belief is the same thing. But the Western Christian belief is pure shirk, that the Holy Ghost proceeds from the Father and the Son. That occurred in 1054. So the Quran is saying that Rome will be victorious before the split. They don't call it the split, they call it the Great Schism of 1054. And the second victory will occur after the split. Has the second victory occurred as yet? No. So according to Surah Rum, and Allah says, Wa'ad Allah, Allah has made this promise that this will happen. Rome has a second victory coming. As in Zulkarnain, Allah is saying there's a second current coming. And it's going to come in the region of the Black Sea. And today Rome is led by Russia. And Russia today commands the Black Sea. And so we say that in the Great War which is coming, Russia will be victorious. Here is a small book, the Quran, the Great War, and the West. The Great War which is coming, and modern Western civilization will be defeated to such an extent that after this war, Western civilization has no significant role to play in history. This was not supposed to be a part of today's lecture, but Taha requested it and I had the time, so I gave it to you. Any question before we end? Or any comment? Yes, Munib. Munib traveled all the way from Lahore to come here just to attend the lectures.
If Russia will be the victorious in that coming war, then how come the Israel will be the ruling state of the world?
There is part of the subject I will not speak about. I don't reveal everything that I know. Okay? Gog and Magog are going to be contained in the North Atlantic. Okay? NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. So NATO will be defeated. But the world of Islam is not involved in that great war. No. And Israel is not involved in that great war. No. So the great war will take place between Russia and China on one side and NATO on the other side. Okay? What is the relationship between Russia and Israel? I can't talk on that subject. That's a secret. Any other questions?